Good morning, I'm Jeff. I'm a sewer tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 3167 Southeast Maple Street here in Hillsboro. We're located at the rear of the house. We're right outside the deck here for the attached part of the home. That's the addition. Between that and the air conditioning unit here, we have a 3-inch ABS cleanout. It appears to just be for this attached part of the home here. We've flushed a toilet in the main part of the home and it did not come flowing through this part of the line, so I'm assuming that it's going to tie on somewhere. Anyway, we're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We do have water running currently, and I'm going to zero out the camera counter right here and refer to this spot as the point of access. Immediately upon access here, I already know that there's going to be a repair required. There was a lot of debris buildup right inside the cleanout, and we've got standing water here right as the camera starts to head outward. You might be able to even hear it. My camera's banging into probably an offset joint or something like that. It's really got to squeeze through a certain spot here to get through. So luckily that issue looks like it dissipates within a couple feet of the cleanout, so it should be a fairly easy repair to deal with. Here at 42 feet, unfortunately this is the as far as I can get. The line has gone through quite a few real tricky turns here, especially with the damaged part of the line right off the bat, and then a lot of 90-degree turns and one T turn have all pinched the camera cable up in the line here. It's just not going to go any further than this. So we'll turn the water off here, let it drain out for a moment so we can have a better picture of it on the way back. The vast majority of the line that I have scoped so far has looked like this, a lot of standing water and debris. I attempted to locate the camera head here, where we stopped up at, and unfortunately I'm unable to find it. I just walked the whole perimeter of the house, as well as walked through the entire home to try and find the camera head, and I'm unable to do so. Yeah, it looks like the camera lens got all fogged up here. I may have to let it pull it out here in a moment and let it defog. Okay, I found the camera head here, back in this little nook in the rear of the property, where the dog houses and everything is at. That's why my camera just had tons and tons of gunk stuck to it. And now the debris off the camera lens, it's a lot easier to see what's going on here now. And it appears we're able to get further than we were able to get to last time. I'm not sure why that all of a sudden is free and clear, letting the camera go through, but take advantage of it. I did tie onto the original cast iron pipe to the main home. I'm going to introduce some water to the line again here and make sure we can get the camera all the way out. And we're going to try and do a toilet flush to get the camera through this turn here. Oh, now it wants to go. This line is bizarre. There's spots where the camera won't budge, and then all of a sudden it just breaks free. So. And we've actually, I think, have hit the main lateral here at 110 feet out. I'm going to go locate the camera head. Alright, there's the toilet flush moving past the camera there from the main house. We did finally pass the tie-in for that. We're going to let it drain out completely here. I'm going to go locate the camera head, see where we're at. Alright, attempted locates here. Unfortunately, I was unable to find the camera head. And I walked the street on both sides. The house sits on a corner. Walked up and down the street, on both sides, was unable to pick up a camera signal. So I'm going to have to reel it back closer to the house here to hopefully figure out which direction it heads to. It's possible due to the depth of the line that the camera signal just isn't strong enough to make it up through the ground. But it's solid cast iron pipe all the way out, which is excellent. It's very rare to see that. generally it would have been concrete. And that's a toilet flush there from the main house toilet. I just wanted to verify one more time with all the other water turned off that is in fact the, or they're both tied into each other. I'm going to relocate here to see if I can find the camera head. If I can't find it here, then probably just going to have to pull records to see where the line heads to. And I tried locating here again. Again, walked a full 360 around the property and out by the street. Still unable to pick up the camera head. Now, I would recommend contacting the city just to pull records to find out where the line ends up heading to, just in case it doesn't just go out to the street and that it may, could possibly be an easement, and it's worth finding that out. See if there is a contract for an easement or something like that, so you're aware of the responsibilities of it. It's also possible it goes right out to the street like most lines do, and it's just too deep to locate. Now, because of the debris buildup, and most of this has occurred mostly due to the age of the line, cast iron pipe's very rough on the inside. Now, when you get 40, 50, 60 years of food debris, especially greasy stuff, bacon grease, things like that, you'll get buildup like this over time. And it's due to that buildup is the reason why my camera would keep stopping up at certain points, and then was able to go once the water moved, because the camera was shoveling so much debris up in front of it that it was creating its own blockages essentially. So I want to get all that junk blown out of there, because it leads to continual debris buildup, even if you're putting the right stuff down the line. I do recommend a Hydrojet to clean the line out, and then when we get back here closer to the beginning of the line, I believe that most of the pipe, about the first 15-20 feet, is in pretty rough condition. Now there's where it ties on here, looks like to the house, or the main house. And this right here is probably a clean out, actually. Up above there, where the pipe is going vertically, my guess is there's a clean out cap somewhere here in the backyard area. We're going to check this pipe out here again. Actually, now that this is all drained out and everything, this is actually looking pretty darn good. There was just a lot of debris in there that my camera had to move out of the way. We've got a little bit of standing water right here leading up to the tie-in to the main house. At its worst point, there's about it's right around a ½ inch of standing water here for it goes from 13 feet to 16 feet here. If you watch what goes down the pipe, bellies like this aren't too terribly concerning, but you can see there is debris building up here. So if you really watch what goes down the pipe, it's probably not going to be an issue. But again, it can. But I'm more inclined to say watch what goes down the pipe here, rather than repair that necessarily. But this part right here in the beginning, where my camera is having a tough time getting through, this needs to be corrected. It's like the first 2 feet, first 1 to 2 feet of the line here. Camera has an extremely tough time getting through there, and we don't have a good picture of what exactly is going on. I think that the pipe joint has become offset, and there's a lip or something the camera head's running into, and you can see there is some standing water associated with it as well. I'm going to go back into the house here really quick. We're heading in. Now basically, I would recommend correcting the pipe from the foundation out to basically 2 feet on either side of the clean out to be redone. There's standing water here, there's tons of debris buildup. This little joint here has become offset, and then the one in front of or on the outlet side of the clean out also has an issue that way. So I'm just going to do some paint markings here. Basically, I'll do an X about 2 feet away from the clean out on either side, about a 4-foot section of the pipe I do recommend repairing. This right here appears to be the culprit behind the debris buildup. That little belly, again, it's right around the 14-foot mark, is very minimal, and the water in there is quite clean. So this right here is slowing stuff down so much that it can't make it through that belly once it gets there. It just lost all of its water velocity. Apart from that, the rest of the line is looking good and is functioning at this time, pending a Hydrojet. Definitely recommend getting that done to clean out the debris from the line. And then I recommend a rescope after the repair just to make sure that the belly was corrected properly. And I will push out here and mark this belly further out in the event like that corrected as well. Okay, I did a marking right here. The line's kind of heading over to the, kind of directed at the mudroom area in the back. Marked out with a white X. It's only 1 foot 7 inches deep, and then I'm going to do another X marking right here. It should be a similar depth, but it's all under dirt and gravel and very shallow. And now that I've kind of thought about this for a moment here, because the way this line is set up, this is not a smooth turn right here. I know it's hard to see because the camera's fogged up. This is not a sweeping turn that directs the water down the outlet direction of the pipe. You have a T here, and there's another T just beyond it. So you've got 2 of those in a row, and that really affects the water velocity because it's not being forced a particular direction. So the water will kind of split ways and go 2 different directions and lose its speed. So because it has to go through all that and then go another 100 feet to the main lateral, I do recommend correcting this belly. Especially, it's so shallow, it's very easy to take care of. Alright, I did map out this belly here. Again, it goes from 13 feet to around 16.5, 17 feet. It's about a 3.5, 4 foot long section. I do recommend correcting it due to the standing water. And that is right in the backyard. Line heads towards the mudroom, and it's just kind of in the little gravel area. Only 1 foot 7 inches to 1 foot 10 inches deep there. Very, very shallow, easy repair to do. And then I'm going to reel back here and just get an idea of what the depth's like right by the clean out. And I recommend correcting this. It's a combination of a belly and an offset joint here. This is the most important part to fix. But both together are causing some pretty significant flow issues here for the ADU part of the line. The rest of it, the main house, that line looks great. It still has debris in it, but once that's cleaned out, it'll be functioning great. And right up next to the clean out here, it's only about 1 foot 5 inches deep. So there's an X about, again, 2 feet from the clean out on either side of it, about a 4 foot belly here at the beginning of the line that I recommend fixing. And a Hydrojet to clean the whole line out. I recommend a rescope after all that is done to ensure the repairs were corrected properly and there's no standing water left over, and to make sure that the line was thoroughly cleaned out. Yeah, so I'm going to show the repair here real quick. So here's the clean out by the ADU, the decking, and the air conditioning unit. So line comes out right there where that white X is at. That's where I recommend beginning this first repair. There's the clean out, and then there's an X on either side. So again, it's about a 4-foot section here at the beginning. The line then travels over towards that little mud room here, and you can see the white paint markings down there on the ground. It's kind of hard to see with the sun glare, but it's all here in this little nook section in the backyard.